Are you ready for a change when it comes to your hair color? There are so many options when it comes to technique and overall look. That's where stylist Mai Lee Perkins comes into play. You're here to take us through 3 different ways to color our hair.
Correct.
The first one is balayage. That's the new hot thing that I keep hearing about, and stylists keep talking about. Tell us what balayage is.
So balayage is if you want a natural highlight effect. So you want to keep a natural color, or sometimes if you want to do a shadow root, you can use a different color on the top, but just creating those natural highlights through the ends. So usually with the balayage, the mid shaft and the ends are a little bit lighter, and your roots are your natural color, or it's a little bit deeper on top.
But it's not the ombre look. It's much less severe than that.
Yeah, it's slightly different. I mean, it's still kind of the ombre look, but there's some highlights going up the hair that makes it look softer. Because sometimes the ombre look has that distinct difference. So the balayage kind of gives it more a highlight look going up, and the ends are a little bit brighter.
And that is the style where the stylist will actually hand paint the color onto it.
Correct. I'm surprised, yeah. So to hand paint the color into her, it makes it look like a softer, natural effect versus doing like a foil or a highlight that makes the color, that the colors are all the way at the top and having that dimension all the way down.
And speaking of foil, you do have an example of the foil.
Yes, we do. So this is what we call a foil, where there's definitely dimension in the hair. The highlights going from the top to the ends, and the low lights going from the top to the end. So you have dimension throughout the whole hair.
How do you know whether to, because most women are most familiar with the foil, how do you know when you're ready to try balayage?
So if you're wanting to not go in the salon every 6 weeks and you want to try something new, balayage is perfect. So you want to have your hair kind of grow out. So if your hair is already growing out, then you can have that balayage effect by just slightly painting the hair that's grown out, and then you'll eventually create that balayage effect.
Are there any women where balayage is not a good, they're not good candidates for balayage?
If you're wanting your highlights to be pretty prominent at the top, then that's probably balayage not for you.
So if you're starting to get more gray,
well, no, if you want to be blonde at the top, very blonde or very blonde at the top, then balayage is probably not the look for you, because balayage is more of a natural grow out look. So it's going to be your natural color with some highlights in it.
Okay, and this one is the all over color.
Yes, this is the all over color, or it's just one color in your hair. And this is great for like if you have gray coverage, or if you just want one tone, one color in your hair.
Well, this is a beautiful color right here. It's like a chestnut type style. Are there any women where all over color, they're not good candidates for that?
I think that color it depends on that person and your personal preference. If you're wanting one color, I think that it could always be good for you. But if you're wanting to add dimension, then an all over color is probably not the best suit for you if you're wanting dimension in your hair.
Is this the one that takes the most maintenance?
Yes, it is, because once your hair grows out, your natural color is going to show. So when your natural color shows, that means you're going to have to go back in the salon and get that coverage. That's usually like 4 to 6 weeks to get in. Balayage is usually about 6 to 12 weeks. Highlights about 6 to 8 weeks, and one color is usually 4 to 6 weeks.
What do you have in your hair? Because your hair looks really pretty, the color.
Thank you. So as a stylist, I do different stuff to my hair. So my natural level is pretty dark. So I lift it up to like a certain, like level 6, and then I glaze it with a darker color, so it looks slightly different. Yeah.
So you've got a glaze on top of it.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mai Lee, thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So now you know 3 different ways to color your hair.